Hi guys, welcome to another one of my videos. My name's Saffy, and if you're new to my channel, basically I post about art, sketchbooking, fashion, vlogs and all kinds of positive vibes. So if you're interested in that, go and subscribe to me. I post every Sunday or even more now due to the circumstances. So speaking of positive vibes, I know we are about a month into lockdown, really stressful. And some of you might be getting bored, might be feeling like you want to try something new, or you're stressed and you need something to calm yourself down and yoga isn't working, or you're not that into yoga. Well, I have the solution for you. Basically, I would like this video to be about sketchbooking 101 because I am CEO of the sketchbooks. That's right. So I'm an art student and I have been sketchbooking for about 5 years now, and I aim to do at least one every year, but obviously you can see I've done more than that. And every time I've had a different approach. Obviously I will not have the same style in 5 years. I know there's a lot of sketchbook tutorials and like tours of sketchbooks that are immaculate and stunning and really neat and tidy, but unfortunately for some of us we are just not blessed with that effort constantly, and sometimes some pages could end up looking a bit crusty, a bit, you know, you wouldn't want to show on Instagram, and that is absolutely fine, and I'm going to show you why it's fine and how it kind of generates its own aesthetic. Also, just so you know, half of this video is going to be filmed outside and the other half with me talking will be filmed in my bedroom, just because it was still quite windy when I sat outside, so you couldn't really hear me speak. But the sketchbook pages will be shown properly in good lighting outside, just so you get a good feel of my sketchbooks. This was my first sketchbook, my first proper official sketchbook. And really, it says on the back 2015, so 5 years ago. At the time, I think I would have been in final year of school, so year 11. And I was quite a quiet person, as I was saying before. I was quite a shy person, very introverted and kind of anxious at the time because, you know, for everyone going through GCSEs, you know how it feels. It's so stressful. And I took on board the stress a lot. So yeah, I used journaling at the time to kind of get rid of that stress and to kind of calm myself. At the time, Tumblr was a massive thing, so I took a lot of inspiration from that as well. And I think even now it's still in, like, you can still see the influences in my practice. Another big influence, if anyone's interested, is Tarvi Gevinson's Rookie magazine, and that started circulating about 2012, and unfortunately the magazine collective closed, but it's still set up for archive, so I really recommend you have a look. It's filled with like photos, like photo series, visual diaries, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, see, so the first page, really cute, really simple, and I used to kind of write myself notes and stuff. One of the main things from a journal is it's kind of like manifesting something. I wrote a little list of things I could do when I'm having a bad day. You have on here make a hot chocolate or a smoothie. So reading this and having this nearby and not on my phone when the world can seem quite overwhelming is really nice, and I recommend to do that as well. Also, I like to collage a lot at the time. So I was explaining in my last video how valuable and exciting collaging is for people who are just starting sketchbooking, don't know what colours go together, and just don't feel very confident making art. Because if you gather everything you love and you cut it up, you start to realise what shapes go together and what colours go together and what themes you tend to like more than others. Because it's interactive, it's a lot more productive than just a Pinterest board. You print off loads of colours, loads of designs and stuff you really like, cut them all up randomly, and then start to put the shapes together and the colours together and see what you can create. It sounds so simple, but it can really start making your brain think about things more visually. Another thing I really like to do is, and I can't recommend this enough for beginners, is to just copy everything. That's the only way you're going to learn, really, is to copy. I used to draw characters from films that I really liked. I used to copy passages from books and stuff, just because it's aligning your mind with things that you like. Like if this book has everything you like in, you tend to think about it more, and it brings you into a happier state of mind than looking at something for a couple of seconds and then going on to another app. I recommend copying and collaging, the 2 C's. That's honestly an amazing way to get started on a sketchbook. You know, all these things are so small but so effective for your brain. And I think they can be quite aesthetically pleasing as well. Never stress too much about aesthetic, because everyone's is personal, and I think that's what makes it more authentic and interesting to look at. So if you're wanting to get into the arts, do not worry. Do not look at people's sketchbooks and think mine doesn't look like that, because it doesn't have to be good. Your work can look good in your own way, and people love that more than anything, because art is a gateway into someone's mind. Another one is to make a sketchbook. So I made this one, and this one at my school as well, because at the time I obviously didn't work and I didn't have money, and I wanted to still sketchbook and carry on with it. So I just got some card and paper, and then folded it in half, gave it a staple, and then cut off the edges so that they were straight at the sides. This one has a lot more texture in. I think I was interested in taking it a bit further with the collaging and stuff, which it can be ugly, but again, interesting in its own way. Also, it really helps you document the days as well, because every day is pretty much seeming the same as the last. So to record little really small mundane things can help ground you and realise that you're on Earth, things are still going on even though you don't think they are, and small little happy happenings can still happen. So yeah, again, I documented train tickets, like art postcards, my lunch. That was from when I went to London. I didn't just do every lunch, but that was the first time I went to London, and I was so excited, and that's what I ate on the train. And tiny accomplishments as well. I forgot that I was so anxious growing up and when I was a teenager, so I stuck down what we ordered from the Chinese, and I had that written down so I could phone and talk without panicking. And I did that for the first time ever, and I was so proud of myself. My first few journals were a lot more about self-care and art, whereas now I kind of do a lot of sketchbook work to help me do larger paintings, because I'm at university now and it just helps me expand my mind again, but in a different way to the way I needed it when I was 16, for example. So these are all your low cost, next to nothing ways of journaling as well. If you're not sure and you want to have a dabble at it, you don't have to go big or go home with the sketchbook. However, if you find that you do really like sketchbooking, I then started to invest in moleskins. So the rest of my sketchbooks are all moleskin journals that I've asked for birthdays or Christmas. I think they cost about £12 to £13, but the quality inside is really good. You can choose between thinner paper or thicker paper, so if you want to paint, I recommend the thicker paper so that the pages don't really crinkle. But then again, that might be a nice quality as well. No. In this journal I would have been 18. I think I was kind of on and off with the journals. I haven't done it continuously. Again, like I said before, I'm not the most tidiest and neatest person, so I'm not that on the ball with these kind of things. But that doesn't matter. Again, don't force yourself to sketchbook every day. It doesn't work. I can't force myself into being creative, otherwise it becomes a chore and then I don't want to do it. Just keep yourself inspired with these kind of videos and you will want to keep on going. Trust me, it happens. If you put in a timer or like an alarm or something to do sketchbooks, some days you're just going to think, no, I don't want to do it. So as you can see, there's a lot more painting in here. I found that I became really interested in the body and figurative work. What I like to do as well at the time was kind of do a brain dump, and in these brain dumps I basically wrote down everything I saw or heard or was feeling at the time. So I used to do these on my bus rides home. I used to draw people I like the look of, things I thought were interesting or weird, like even just rubbish lying in the street, and I used to write it all down. It's so interesting to see your thoughts and feelings laid out onto a spread, and trust me, loads of people find it interesting as well. We all want to know what's going on in other people's lives and how they go about it. That's what Instagram's for, that's what Messenger's for, and it does create its own aesthetic. I know we are very limited in our contact with the outdoors at the minute, but our 1 hour walk or something could be filled with what we see, what we hear, people's conversations, if you could, from a distance. It's really interesting, and it does help you record the day, remember the day, and give you creative thoughts for different things you want to put in your sketchbook. Since this whole corona thing, I have been getting some seriously crazy dreams, so it would be quite interesting to wake up and instead of just write it down, even just draw what you saw. So these pages, like completely random to me now, but it was interesting to know that they were dreams that I had. And again, it also relaxes your brain when you've woken up to just get it out before you forget. Texture's really nice as well. It's things that you don't realise are gonna look good, and then once it's on a page, it gives it an entirely different context. So to put down a scrap piece of paper and then stick it into a journal, the texture stands out or the colour stands out. It's all a different way of looking at things that is interesting and healing. I started doing more still lives as well and jotting down thoughts and feelings. So there's a couple of scenes from when I was out or when I just woke up and there was a cup of tea, and I mean, these drawings aren't really the best, but it's training. And then even just be silly with it, like still life and nudes and stuff. Because I used to be so interested in the body, you can see I was playing with that figure of the body a lot more than in my last one, and kind of testing with what styles I like. This one was a test for a larger painting. This is when I started using my sketchbook for bigger paintings because I was happy, but I was still doing really ugly life drawings. Like even these pages, they are like not the prettiest, but it's nice to see what would happen if I were to just rip a piece, this is yours, it's not Instagram's, and it doesn't have to be perfect. If you're stuck and you're worried about ruining something that you spent a lot of money on, don't be, because you will not ruin it, I promise you. The more you put in, the more kind of visual collage comes together, and your mark is made more than ever than just a couple of pages that you've spent a lot of time over and then decide you don't like. Some of these are so cute, Petals. That says still doing nada on it. God. Since it's spring, you might want to do that. I'd even say start doing small stuff like checklists. It can just consist of getting up, making sure you eat breakfast, watching something you like, really small things. Once you tick off, you feel a lot more completed and like you have done something for the day. So yeah, recently you can see my stuff has become a lot more put together. I have been doing a lot of these pages just for Instagram, which again, it doesn't really give me that much joy. They're pretty, and they have helped, to be fair, with imagery and stuff and things I want to do. But really, in my later ones, I kind of just do fine liner stuff and designs. I found that with uni and work now, it was a lot harder to put that much effort into my sketchbook and stuff, which is completely fine as well. Just drawing in a pen and leaving it can still give enough ideas, it can give some clarity in what you were thinking, all sorts of stuff. But if you have enough time or you do want to commit to it, then I just suggest collaging, draw over it to make it look pretty. Anything you can think of, tear it up, stick it back on. Use all your resources that you like. Did you watch Come Dine With Me tonight? And then like the guy, you thought he was fit? draw the meals. And then it's like you've turned something that's so mundane as watching daytime TV into this fun task that has sparked your creativity and you now want to do more. There you go guys, that is my sketchbook journal. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll be back next week talking more about art and self-healing and stuff that can expand your mind creatively. If you want to see more of my artwork, I am Saffiella on Instagram. The link will be in the description below. Alright guys, bye bye!